certainly what we've experienced today and what we've outlined to our investors and to the market is that our profits declined by about 67% year on year. The key driver around that is really the PGM basket price. That declined by 35% in US dollar terms, and that really is on the back of the record highs that we experienced in 2022, and then and just really the global macroeconomic factors which have really weighed on PGM prices. And that's been really the key driver around some of the reduction in profits. But we've also seen escalating costs in our business, above inflationary increases coming through for electricity and various other consumables, weighing on our results. And yes, it's been a particularly challenging year in 2023 from a financial perspective, but from an operational perspective, certainly delivering in line with our commitments. But that really does, talk to sort of the next phase of what we're doing as a business. And today we have announced a proposed restructuring, which is going to affect around about 3,700 jobs in our company. But it really is important that we need to take this action, albeit at the last, as a last resort measure. But it's important for us to be able to set the business up for the future in order to continue to deliver PGMs into the future, and to still continue to make a meaningful contribution to South Africa, either through employees, the communities where we operate, or contributing to the South African fiscus.
Let's talk about the performance of your operations. What are you seeing?
Yes, so certainly, as I said, we delivered on our targeted production, both from metal and concentrate as well as refined production. So a really credible performance despite a number of the headwinds and the challenges that we experience in South Africa. Last year, as a result of load curtailment, we weren't able to produce around about 80,000 ounces of platinum group metals. So load curtailment does have an impact on the business. So I think despite some of those operating challenges, a credible operational performance, but really impacted by that decline and material decline in PGM prices in the year.
You had given a cost-saving guidance, if I'm not mistaken, late last year. What are some of the factors that need to come into play for you to be able to achieve this?
Yes, so we set out that we needed to reduce our costs by about 5 billion rand from our 2023 cost base. Some of those factors are really just looking at not only operational efficiencies, which we need to drive across the entire organization, but also looking at a lot of our consumption. And then finally, the last pillar that we've really looked at is really around how we're structured, how productive our team members are. And as a result of the work that we've done and be able to deliver on the 5 billion rand, which is critical for us to set the business up for long-term sustainability and to restore our competitive position, we have embarked upon a Section 189 restructuring, which we announced today, and will impact around 3,700 of our employees. And in addition to that, we're having a look at the work that's done by 620 of our contracting companies.
Right. You spoke about the market performance and some of the conditions and what you're seeing from a pricing perspective. Going forward here, I mean, what is the outlook specifically for the company?
So look, the outlook for the company, I mean, we have some of the best PGM assets that exist globally, worldwide. And we're particularly excited about the opportunity around future demand for PGMs, particularly as the world looks to decarbonize and we move to a greener and cleaner environment. And the role that PGMs can play is absolutely fundamental. So the long-term fundamentals for our products are really, really robust. However, we've got some short-term challenges that we need to navigate, just given the global macroeconomic environment, the geopolitical tensions, that's certainly weighing on commodity prices at the moment and requiring us to be able to respond to that, and hence the restructuring process that we announced today.
Now that you've announced this restructuring process, what's the next step?
So, as I said, we've announced the Section 189 process that requires us to enter into a consultation with those affected employees, with organised labour, And we'll run that process now together with the CCMA in terms of really working through the proposal and getting input from our stakeholders in terms of how we look to execute it. That's clearly, obviously, for me, the most important thing, just given the importance of being safe and always being safe in our operations and continuing to maintain our safety performance where we haven't had a fatality at any of our operations for the last 2 years. The critical importance is, as we're implementing the Section 189 process, is making sure that we retain safe and stable operations. And that's key for myself and my management team and all of my colleagues in the business as we look to implement the restructuring.